one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. This gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3.
Finish.
Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and nobody can hang with my stuff. You know, I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps because they know what happens next. So without further ado, free smoke. Look, scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much or how you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa Bars forever, like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop a million songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our block, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today for picks and predictions. We got a Thursday night game going on and we got to talk about that. Week 2 of the NFL is here and we got to predict that. We also got the big dog, Henry. His picks start tonight. I said we had a new segment called Henry's Corner. Scratch that. I'm still reworking that. As of right now, though, the big dog Henry sending them picks in. Now, further down the line, more than likely next week, I'll start going more in depth about why he chose every pick. Just a very busy week. And a lot of videos I've been working on. So I didn't actually have the time to write down and go through every single one of his all the reasons as to why he chose every pick. I remember most of them. My mind is crazy when it comes to sports and shit like that. And handling the channel. But before we even get into all of that, hope everybody's having a dope day. I hope you had a dope day. I hope you told somebody that you fucked with them, that you loved them today. It is such a blessing to have. It's so good loving somebody and somebody loves you back. And that's a fact. I can't remember. It's so good loving somebody when somebody loves you back. I don't actually know who sing that song, and that's on me. But listen, so good to love somebody and having somebody love you back. That's the message. That's always the message. Go find somebody to love, and for those who love you, love the freak out of them. You thought I was gonna curse. I had somebody tell me, well, I done had a lot of people tell me this. Sir, we can't hear you. Can you please speak up? One time I went to Bojangles, and I don't know if this woman was trolling me or if I really just don't speak loud enough. But she was asking for my order, And I am not joking. She asked me to speak up, or she said she could not hear me. Can I speak up? About 8 times. I even laughed at after the 6th time she asked me, I was like, this is crazy. And then I was like, can I get? And she was like, sir, I'm so sorry, but I cannot hear you. And I was like, bro, that's cool, bro. I said, a lot of people tell me they can't hear me. So she legitimately got real close to me, and we was laughing about this. Like, I kid you not, bro. And that's probably the day that I realized, like, yeah, I mean, maybe I don't naturally talk loud enough. I don't be mumbling, but I guess just naturally. What's crazy is I had this woman one time. She wasn't a woman at the time. She was my homeboy's sister. So she was in I couldn't even tell you how many grades below me she was. I think 2. Regardless, she told me one time, she was like, yo, the way you talk, it sounds like you can sing. And I had never heard nobody say, to this day, I've never heard nobody tell me the way I talk, let them know that I can sing. That is the wildest comment to me that I ever got. Still to this. Well, it probably ain't the wildest, but it's just one of the most mind-bending ones I ever got. But I done procrastinated enough. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get into these games. Thursday night football is almost here. And we got Minnesota heading into Philadelphia. Now, Henry, the big dog, he is taking the Eagles. And I want to tell you what's so special about this guy, Henry, bro. Not only is he a great supporter, I'm pretty sure he's a great guy. I'm hoping to get to know him even more over the years. As the channel grow, I hope that I know he's going to be with the channel as it grows. But the more successful the channel get, I hope that is the more fan base we grow. I just want y'all to know Henry got so much to do with that, bro. This dude is unbelievable. His energy, I can feel it. His dude is, I fuck with this guy. But listen, Henry got all his score predictions, bro. He got scores. I give you predictions and I break down why I feel like this, but I never put the scores on the game because I have to do so much. So it's just not, I cannot. When you are the only person working on your channel, you manage everything about your channel. I would never complain about how hard it is, but you have to figure out little ways to cut time down on different type of things. It's like how big businesses have to cut small costing areas. One of the ways I cut down the time so that I'm able to put out a lot of different good content is to not include scores because I don't want to think about it that much. But the big dog, Henry, got scores for you. He said, for me, it ain't too much. And I respect that. Boy, I respect that. Henry think the Eagles will win 38-28. He got no faith in the Vikings after they let Baker midfield. He sent me the message. Midfield. My guy spelled the man's name right. He got no faith in the Vikings after they allowed Baker midfield to eat their ass up last week. So my guy is going with the Philadelphia Eagles, 38-28. He think they will put up some points. He think Philadelphia's offense will be unleashed this week. He expect to see a dominant performance, and I could not agree any more. Do not think that the Eagles will put up 38 points. I hope they do. Don't think they will, though. But I also have the Eagles winning that game. And every time I tell you my prediction, just understand, I'm never going to give you a score prediction. Well, eventually I might, but that's what makes this guy Henry even more special, man. The dude is a big dog. The dude is a big dog. Shout out to this guy, bro. This man. Oh my God, I hope this dude is successful in everything he do in life. Shout out to Henry, bro. Wait till I get like sound effects and stuff like this. And like that, bro. We're going to be dropping bombs for Henry every episode, bro. God, I love this dude. But I also have the Eagles winning this one at home. For one, I also have absolutely no faith in a team that just let Baker midfield do what he did. Y'all got to understand something. Baker didn't even play a great game. But he played a good enough game to beat the Vikings. And my problem with the Vikings remains the same. this is an average team. They not the worst team in the NFL, but they nowhere near the best. They got no chance to win a Super Bowl, but they have absolutely no shot at finishing in the top 5 in the draft. That is a problem. For teams like that, they have to just straight up make the decision, we need to rebuild. And either you take too long to do it, or you never do it, and you get stuck in mediocrity thinking to yourself, we're a piece away. That's what currently is happening with the Minnesota Vikings. They got a horrid defense. They can't stop anything. They had Daniel Jones looking good out there. And I just love it how we give quarterback, oh, Daniel Jones got a playoff win. And you never take into consideration, look who he played. But then when you shit on Kirk Cousins, it's, look how he let Daniel Jones beat him. Oh, okay. Brock Purdy got more wins than it, but you don't look at the team Brock Purdy got around him. Y'all love doing stuff like that, bro. Like, what is up with y'all and y'all so simple-mindedness, bro? It's so irritating. But y'all do watch analysts get on TV every day and exhibit the same type of behavior. So I cannot truly get too mad at y'all for that. Anyways, I got no faith in the Vikings. I think the Vikings need to commit fully into rebuilding this team. I do not understand why they continue to re-up on Kirk Cousins. I do not understand what they see in Kirk Cousins. I'm baffled by the fact that they think they can actually compete for a Super Bowl right now. You see, Hen don't think that they have a good run game, and he don't think they'll be able to consistently score eventually because of the inconsistencies with the run game. The light's gonna shine too bright for Kirk Cousins, in my opinion. He done proven that on a week-to-week basis. So you know what? The Eagles might run up the score on this. They might drop a 40 piece. I stand corrected. They could drop a 40 piece. I don't expect the Vikings to look good on Thursday night. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I do not expect them to look good. And at first I told one of my homies at work today that it could be a close game because one of my homies at work, he an Eagle fan, and his son is a Cowboys fan. So that's a funny dynamic. But he believes he an Eagle fan, and I told him today that it could end up. I told him the Eagles gonna win it, but I was like, it could end up being a 1-score game because that's how the Vikings play. This ain't gonna be no 1-score game. I changed that. I think the Eagles gonna want to come out and have a lot to prove. Lane Thompson and the other guy who I consistently forget how to pronounce his name, they had kind of rough games on Sunday. The Patriots defense was pretty good against them on Sunday, so I expect that the Eagles are going to come out here at home, the home opener, a lot. That Philadelphia crowd, my goodness. Yeah, they could run up the score in this one. Hopefully, the Vikings don't embarrass themselves like the Giants decided to do the other night when they decided to forget how to play football. What did the Giants do in the offseason? They knew for 2 months that they was playing the Cowboys. To score 0 points. It baffles me. Yet, about 10 analysts who get paid to talk and teach you, supposed to teach you, about football, took the Giants to beat the Cowboys. But I digress. Now, I'm done with Thursday Night Football. It's time to get into these predictions for the week. And my guy Hendog, to start it off, Seattle, they head into Detroit, 0-1, 1-0. My guy Hendog think that the Detroit Lions will pick up a win, 38-31. He believed that the Lions' offense will be able to outplay Seattle's defense. He believed it would be a shootout, though. But the Lions will end up making the most plays. And I almost agreed with him. But I'm actually going to take Seattle in this game. Because you see, as much as I like the Lions offense, still not prolific enough for me. It's some things in the Lions offense that I still don't see that I see in other offenses. Not only that, I still don't trust Jared Goff, the offensive coordinator, or Dan Campbell. Point blank, period. So the Lions are probably going to have to be one of them teams that continue to prove me wrong on a weekly. Now, I doubt that I'll be picking against them on a weekly basis because I actually thought that they were going to beat Kansas City on opening night, but I still took Kansas City because I didn't want to overthink it. But my true instinct was right. However, I ended up picking that wrong. I'm picking against them this week because I think Seattle was still the better team. As prolific as the Lions offense can be, for one, I don't even think there's going to be a shootout. I think Seattle's defense is going to want to come to the table, want to come and prove something this week. Plus, Tariq Woolen would be guarding Amon-Ra St. Brown, the sun god. I'm imagining for the majority of the game. Now, Pete Carroll did this thing where he liked to sit back in his zone, and I have no problem with Pete Carroll's zone. But when you sit back in his zone and let the Rams pick you apart in this zone because you decide not to really switch nothing up, come on, bro. You've been in the league too long. You're too good of a head coach. I don't expect for him to allow that to happen against Detroit. I expect him to regroup and be better against Detroit. I'm taking Seattle against Detroit, and I do think it'll be a closer game because I'm interested to see how Geno play on week 2. Because what if Geno resort back to old Geno before last year? I'm interested to see it. He got 3 good targets, so I do doubt that he turned back into old Geno, but I'm interested to see how the offense looked last week. I wasn't too impressed last week how they got really bottled up by not a great secondary, a real young defense to be, in all honesty, in the Rams. So I'm interested to see what they look like against Detroit. I'm also looking at Aiden Hutchinson very closely because I want to see what, I'm not even telling you that he need to have a sack, but boy, it would really be nice for him to have a sack in this game or two. So I'm looking very closely at that game, but I'm taking Seattle in that game. The Raiders and the Bills. Big Hen taking the Bills 31-14. He think that the Raiders going to be brought back down to earth this week. He believes that Buffalo will regroup after that bad Monday night loss. And I could not agree more. I believe in the Buffalo defense. Big Hen do also. And listen, all pro Matt Milano, bro. I told you he gonna have, that's that guy. It's real funny how the dudes who I talk about a lot on this channel end up being very successful. But listen, that's neither here nor there. The Buffalo defense is still great. I'm not taking no shot at Leslie Frazier because he is an unbelievable defensive coordinator. Regardless if they have him or not, a healthy Buffalo defense will still look great. They didn't look bad against the Jets. The offense turned the ball over 4 times. I'm taking Buffalo. This one ain't going to take too long. I'm taking Buffalo in this game also. I also think they can win this game pretty big in this game. I think Jimmy G could have a long game in this game. Like, this is one of those games where, much like Hen said, Josh could play a pretty much flawless game and bounce back from his bad game on Monday. So I am also taking Buffalo in Buffalo. Chicago, Tampa Bay. Boy, pinch me and call me crazy, but I'm taking Tampa Bay. Now listen to me. Big Hen is taking, okay, so this was an interesting one because his favorite team is the Chicago Bears, and he also rocked with the Giants, but his favorite team is the Bears. And if the Bears can find a way to get the receiver that they brought in the offseason that they used a number 1 draft pick on, DJ Moore involved, he believed that the Bears can find a way to get a 20-17 win. However, if they don't do that, and they do what I think they're going to do, he believes that they will lose 14-27 against Baker Mayfield. Now, the way I see this game going, the reason I'm taking Tampa Bay is not because of Baker Mayfield. Even though I told you already, I would take Baker over Justin Fields every day of the week. Point blank period. I don't want either of them. But Justin Fields, bro, these excuses that people keep making, bro. Oh, the offensive line bad. Even though I don't know how bad the offensive line is, bro. This dude hold on to the ball just as long as Deshaun Watson hold on to the ball. Not only do he hold on to the ball for a long time, it's times where he will make the offense look bad because he see ghost. And he will run before the pressure actually get in there. How many times have you seen Justin Fields actually step up in the pocket, climb the pocket to make a play? How many times have you seen him just sit in the pocket and make a throw? Because you got to take a hit at some point in time. How many times do you see him fix the play or the play based off of what he is seeing on the field? It's just so many things right now that tells you, it's screaming, Justin Fields is not an NFL starting quarterback. But sure, let's blame the coaches. Let's blame the players around him. Let's blame the running backs. Let's blame the system. Let's blame the GM. Let's blame the fact that the Bears never had a good quarterback throughout their history. Let's blame the fact that they never had a whatever many 1,000-yard receiver. I mean, I really don't know how you could be looking at the tape and thinking that Justin Fields his growth is being stunted because of everything around him. Because when I watch these games, because I don't have to watch tape, I'm actually watching these full Chicago Bear games. And I'm not quite sure what made me start watching Justin Fields. Maybe it's just because I like black quarterbacks and I always want them to succeed. So I naturally was going to watch him. But I don't know what ended up making me just continue to watch him. Because it's not an enjoyable watch. Which is why I'm so baffled by those MVP predictions in the offseason. That got to be some of the most clownish, buffoonish predictions that I have ever seen going into an offseason. Y'all analysts was really just bored and wanted something to say. Nonetheless, because Justin Fields just don't throw people open. It's dudes who are running, who get open, but to him it's not open, so he don't pull the trigger. Hold on to the ball too long, mixed with the fact that I guess he don't have an above-average line of most people. I don't agree with it, but whatever. Mixed with the fact that he don't got the best weapons, in people's opinions. I don't agree with that either, but whatever. It's so many things that... It's year 3, bro. It's year 3. I keep giving you a list of quarterbacks who showed you super growth by that point in time. And I'm just thinking to myself, the quarterbacks I could switch out with Justin Fields who would be successful right now. And I keep thinking to myself, why in God's name? No, not why. What did Chicago see on the film that made them say, we shouldn't go get Bryce Young? Because even with his interceptions last week, Bryce Young looked better than Justin Fields. But on the tape they looked at, or didn't look at, I don't know, they said to themselves, it ain't Justin, it's us. That is not what the tape says, bro. The tape says this is a quarterback who don't know how to read defenses at all at this point, who is a one-read quarterback. Not only is he a one-read quarterback, he is a pre-snap read quarterback like Jared Goff used to be. Meaning, we are telling you before the snap who is going to be open. So as soon as the ball is hiked, that is immediately where he is going with the ball because he was told that is what's going to be open. That's how bad it is. He don't throw into tight windows. He made a throw last week. That was a pre-throw slant across the middle, and I praised it even though I knew it was a pre-snap read. But it's still a read where I'm like, he don't even make those a lot of the times. He is so underdeveloped, and I'm not blaming it on Chicago because I keep seeing people say it's Chicago failing Justin Fields. No, Chicago failing themselves and the fans. And the fans is a part of it. Because they was rocking with Justin Fields instead of just watching the tape. Listen, I understand some fans just don't want to be like, oh, we don't support black quarterbacks. Bro, this is not that. You just got to call it how you see it. And if you're going to keep giving him excuses, sure, live in that fantasy. But the reason I'm not taking him in this game against a quarterback who is so very clearly a below average quarterback, you don't know what you're getting from Baker Mayfield on a week-to-week basis. You got no clue. The only thing you know is that he will be inconsistent. But I got more faith in the defense of Tampa, who still got a lot of studs walking around that defense. I got more faith in Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, that offensive line for Tampa Bay, than I do in Justin Fields. I saw somebody shitting on Chicago's defense, by the way. Tremaine Edmonds is not a bum, buddy. Calm that down. Chicago don't got a good... And he was praising Yannick Ngakoue. What? That should tell you right there that this man just watched the highlights of Yannick in that game and said, oh, they only got Yannick Ngakoue. Bro, that's stupid. He not nowhere near as good as Tremaine Edmonds. And if you didn't watch that Chicago game and see how Tremaine Edmonds is the only reason, well, it was two reasons they stayed in the game. Tremaine Edmonds is a phenomenal captain on the defense. And Matt LaFleur decided, oh, I forgot we had Aaron Jones for a whole quarter. That's the only reason they was in the game for so long. Because Love got better as the game went on. And it was so very clear that the cornerback play for Chicago is not good. It is not. I do love Eddie Jackson, though. However, I'm taking Tampa Bay. And I would love to say it's going to be a close game, bro. I would love to say it's going to be a close game. Because I don't know what to expect from Baker. Except for inconsistency. But what I think will happen is it will be a close game. And then the defense will force Justin Fields to throw the ball. And he will begin to turn it over. And because the field will be short, Tampa Bay will take advantage. And they will probably end up winning by probably 2 scores. Even though most of the game it was close. It's just what you get when you get Justin Fields. But I digress. Indy heads to Houston to take on the Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud in the Houston Texans. I don't know if Anthony Richardson playing, but I'm imagining he is. I haven't seen no report that said he's not playing, so I'm approaching this as if he is playing. Big Hen is taking the Colts to win 10-27. For if no other reason than the Texans have a great defense. And that is exactly why I'm taking the Texans also. He also don't believe because you don't have Jonathan Taylor and you don't have that guy to take that pressure off of Anthony Richardson, that will affect it. And he said exactly what I was thinking. Because not having Jonathan Taylor is a problem. This is why I don't understand this notion that no running back matter. Jonathan Taylor matter. And because and they're going to have a good little backup running back play this week. But I doubt, because I don't, okay, so I know y'all, the Texans are a bad team. They had the second pick in the draft for a reason, and for most of the season, they had the first pick in the draft. The Texans do not have a bad defense. Was the defense rocky last year? Absolutely. But you want to know what was good for them last year? The secondary. They got 2 good corners on the outside. They got 2 decent safeties, and I actually love one of the safeties. I can't remember his name at the moment. And I like the rebuilt. Let's just see where the Texans end up midway through the season defensively. However, the defense kept them around in that Ravens game for a long time because people don't give the defense no credit for the secondary, I should say, for being as good as it is. But I actually think that's what's going to end up being the big part of this game also. I think Anthony Richardson going to struggle against this secondary. I'm not telling you that the Jaguars' defense is bad, but what I am telling you is that I don't think as highly of their secondary as I do the Texans' secondary. And I actually do think the Texans secondary will have a great game. And because I have no faith in the Colts defense, I believe C.J. Stroud will have a better game this week. I don't think he actually played bad against the Ravens. I just think he looked like a rookie. I expect him to play a little bit better. I don't know if he is if he can run as good as Anthony Richardson. But I think Anthony Richardson could get in trouble running in this game. And listen. I'm not going to pick either one of them apart too much because they're rookies and they just played one game in the NFL. But Anthony Richardson do have to be smart about some of the plays he tried to make in this game because, like I said, that is not a bum secondary that is walking around for the Texans. That is a good secondary. I would even go a little above good, bro. I really like the Texans. I said it before the season started that one of the things I liked about the Texans was that secondary. Like they got to fix that run defense. They got to tighten that up. And I'm telling you, The secondary is not bad. You're going to see this weekend. Green Bay heads into Atlanta. Now, Big Hen is taking Green Bay in this game. He think they're going to bring Desmond Ridder back down to life. Back to life. Back to reality. Okay. Anyways. He believes Desmond Ridder will have a rough game this week. He actually believes that it'll be a 31-10 spanking on Atlanta. And I tend to agree. Listen, bro, y'all already know my feelings. If you watch the show, you know how I feel about the Packers. If you don't watch the show, I absolutely love the Packers. I defended the Packers defense all last year. Because I think it's ridiculous that if you watch, because I'm be honest with you, this is comically ignorant to me that people watch that Packers defense because of how much they was on Aaron Rodgers'. They just wanted to find a way to defend Aaron. And so because of how bad Aaron played, people decided it was the defense that was bad. Bruh, go back and watch the Packers. Go back and watch every single game. They probably had 2 games where they was terrible. The Jets defense was great last year. They probably had 2 or 3 games where they was terrible. A lot of teams have had great defenses that had a struggle or two. The 49ers defense was great. Pat lit their ass up last year. So great defenses have a game or two where they play bad. The Packers defense played above good enough, beyond good enough to get them a playoff spot. That was not on the Packers. And so much like I put the cape on for them last year and I told you how great they were the year before that, I'm telling you once again, this is one of the best defenses in the NFL. I don't know why people talk about them like they are scrubs. They got studs littered throughout the entire secondary. They got studs littered throughout the entire linebacking core. They got studs littered throughout the... Bro, the Packers is one of the few teams that don't even have to blitz because the defenders on the line are so good, they don't need everybody else blitzing. Yeah, they'll send Preston on a blitz here or there. Campbell will come on a blitz here and there. But Campbell can defend the run. But when you got dudes like Gary on the line, you don't need to send blitzes, bro. This is a beyond good enough. When you got Jair Alexander, Douglas, and all these other dudes in the secondary, you don't need to draw up a whole bunch of exotic stuff. I say it all the time. When the Packers defense look bad, it's usually not because the defense is, because a quarterback is picking them apart. It's usually because they're doing a lot of just stupid shit out there. But I expect the Packers to blow out Atlanta in Atlanta also. I think Desmond Ridder could have a rough game also. I think Desmond Ridder could throw a couple picks. This is the type of quarterback Jair Alexander will absolutely eat alive. He'll probably give him 1 touchdown because he's just going to be pick hunting in this game. But he'll probably have 2 interceptions in this game. Like, this is one of them games where the Packers defense is going to be flexing in the end zone possibly a lot. Because, and I'm not talking about pick 6, I'm talking about running to the end zone to celebrate turnovers. The Packers could walk away with 4+ turnovers in this game. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I just got way too much faith in the Packers defense. But I'm telling you, just off of the games that I watch, and I watch a lot of Packers games, this is a phenomenal defense. At their best, they could compete with any defense in the NFL as a top defense. For the simple reason, as great as the linebacking core and the front are for the 49ers, their secondary is not better than the Packers secondary. The Ravens secondary is their best part. They front 7, not nowhere near as good as the Packers front 7. The Jets might be one of the only teams at their best that could make an argument they might be better at their best than the Packers. And the biggest reason being is while I would still take Jair over Sauce, I would never take Campbell over C.J. Mosley. C.J. Mosley is unbelievable, bro. How good, bro. He is one of the greatest players to come out of Alabama. Oh, that's a bunch of hype. Go watch his tapes in Baltimore and with the Jets. This dude is one of the most underrated. It was a time where he, Kuechly, and Wagner was the best 3 linebackers in football. And then he started getting hurt, so people started to underlook him. He is right back to being a top-tier linebacker, bro. C.J. Mosley done been an S-tier linebacker for the majority of his career, and he is the Mike linebacker, bro. It's unreal how great this dude is. Unreal. But at the peak of their powers, it's not a lot of defenses, if any, other than the Jets, that can truly compete with the Packers, because they got somebody at all 3 levels. And as long as the Packers defense play the way they play, Jordan Love will always have a chance to win, as long as he don't have a game where he just turning the ball over left and right. And he could have one of those this season. The scary thing is he could have a game where he turned the ball over 4 times. And because of how, if he played a right opponent, his defense will be great enough to still stop the other team or get the ball back to still give him a chance to kick a field goal to win the game. That's how good and how much faith I have in the Packers defense. And Big Hen agrees. Baltimore, Cincinnati. Me and him both got Baltimore. Now, we got Baltimore for different reasons. He thinks just Joe Burrow will continue to struggle and Lamar will have a bounce back game. I think the rumors of Cincinnati being so far and away better than Baltimore, it's just been so overblown, bro. The one time they blew us out, Lamar wasn't struggling in that game. The defense just had dudes who just came off the street and couldn't stop a cold. That's the only reason that game got out of hand. The other one was I don't even think Lamar was playing. Nonetheless, this should be a great game, and I expect it to be a great game. I do think Joe Burrow will be better. I continue to tell y'all, I've resigned myself to the fact that Joe Burrow is one of the top quarterbacks in the league. But it's always this thing in the back of my head saying, I don't know the last time I seen a quarterback that had Boyd, Higgins, Chase, Mixon, and they phasing Mixon out of the offense now. I mean, to me, it's ridiculous the type of talent Joe Burrow have on his team on the offensive side and how good his defense is. However, the thing that's holding me back with Baltimore, I don't know what to expect from their run game. I really don't. I wish they would go out and trade for Jonathan Taylor. I think they would get a shit ton out of Jonathan Taylor. I think he could absolutely be a key piece as to why the Ravens get to a Super Bowl. Because imagine having to defend Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, if Odell get on track, Odell, and Jonathan Taylor. Listen to this. Let's say you don't want to put 7 in the box or however many you stuff in the box because now you actually have to defend these receivers. Could you imagine if the threat no longer become Lamar running, but Jonathan Taylor going nuts? And don't tell me the Ravens can't afford it, because they can. And this is the exact type of player they would go spend money on, a running back. So it fit perfectly into what the Ravens. I told you, there's certain players that I know for a fact the Ravens will go trade for. When Roquan Smith, when we knew he was going to be traded, I told y'all the number one team that's going to get him is the Ravens. That's the first team on my list, not because I'm a Ravens fan, but because I'm a Ravens fan, and I know this is the exact type of player they will go get. The only thing that'll stop them from going to get Jonathan Taylor is if they have to pay him too much. But they will re-sign a running back, especially at a good price. So if Jonathan Taylor not asking for some astronomical contract, which I wouldn't blame him if he is, because I think he deserves it, the Ravens are going to pay him. I don't think it's too many contracts they wouldn't be willing to give Jonathan Taylor, to be completely honest with you. Especially if they start to realize the production is not where they want it to be at the run game. They're going to go get Jonathan Taylor. I'm just telling you right now. They're not the only team that will go get him, because I think the Dolphins will go get him. And if the Dolphins go get him, the Dolphins actually might be the best choice to go get him, to be honest with you. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Jonathan Taylor. Oh, my God. Tua, you talk about options, my guy. But I think Baltimore will end up having a bounce-back game offensively, too. And if Mark Andrews is back, I think the offense will look way better this week than it did last week, because essentially he had no tight end last week. Lamar loved the middle of the field with his tight end. He essentially didn't have that. Because you keep telling me how great Isaiah Likely is, Raven fans. but the production is just not there on a consistent basis in the games. And he done played enough games without Mark Andrews to have been more consistent than what I keep seeing from him. I think they should try to trade him, but that is neither here nor there. Regardless, I do think Baltimore's defense will also have a good game against Cincinnati. The only thing that scared me about Cincinnati is if Cincinnati's receivers can pick apart this Baltimore secondary now that Marcus Williams and Marlon Humphreys won't be in the secondary. That'll be interesting. But McDonald's scheme have to be better because you're not playing against C.J. Stroud this week. You're playing against Joe Burrow. And it's not even really to me that you're playing against Joe Burrow. You're playing against a quarterback who will hit what dudes who get open this week. So I was on the fence on this one at first because it's in Cincinnati. But I think I'm going to let my Baltimore bias take me over. And I actually think Baltimore will end up winning a close one. Probably with a walk-off touchdown or field goal. But I'm taking Baltimore in this one. Kansas City headed to Jacksonville. Big Hen is taking Kansas City in this game. He believes that Kansas City will get back on track now that what's my man's name? Kelsey. He think if Kelsey is back, because that's the whole thing. Me and him both believe if Kelsey is back, then Cincinnati, that Kansas City should be able to get a close win against Jacksonville. The interesting thing to me about Jacksonville is I'm still looking at Trevor Lawrence's growth. I'm becoming more in command of the offense because I still think pretty much their offense is at its best when it run through the run game. I love what I saw from Calvin Ridley already. For some reason, people didn't realize how good Calvin Ridley was. That just tells me y'all don't watch football. Nonetheless, I just got more faith that Pat Mahomes and these guys will be able to draw. If he got Kelsey, they'll be able to draw up a game plan regardless to score points this game. But I have even more faith that they'll be able to, after week one, they'll be able to figure something. Now, week one was pretty interesting because Detroit is probably not the best defense you're going to play all year. But they didn't have a lot of different pieces. Plus, Chris Jones is back. I'm interested to see how he look in this first game back. But I'll be honest with you. Unlike most years where it was easy to take Kansas City, it's not so easy to just be picking Kansas City nowadays for me because Kansas City, I mean, I'm just being honest with you. I'm not a fan of the others on the offense. But, hey, I do believe I don't see Kansas City starting 0-2. Even though plus Kansas City is a good road team, so if for nothing else, if for nothing else, I'm taking Kansas City. LA, the Chargers. Go Chargers, go. They head to Tennessee to take on the Titans, and if you saw my last show, you know how I feel about the Titans. So of course, I'm taking LA. And Big Hen Dog is also taking LA. Because why in God's name would anybody pick with Tannehill after that week? Now, I'm not picking with Tannehill just because I don't believe that. He do believe they'll run through that run game. But, I mean, just at the end of the day, I don't know how much faith I still have in Tennessee's run game. Hold on. Let me make sure Hen did pick the he picked 24-17 for the Chargers. I actually think it'll be a bigger score differential. I think Justin Herbert, this one of them games that he'll have this one of the few games the Chargers will play this year where they actually find a way to blow out the other team. They don't blow people out too much because this team in the fourth quarter for some reason just is not good. But I do believe that they will find a way to just dominate this game. If nothing, actually, no, I take that back. I really like the Chargers pieces on defense. So, you know what? I think this will be a rather close game, too. I just don't see dominate when I talk about the Chargers to be a whole band with you, bro. And it's a shame, but it is what it is. But I'm definitely taking the Chargers to win this game in a close one. We got to start speeding through these things, man. San Francisco Rams. Obviously, this is an emotional pick for me because I am a Rams guy. And Big Hen took the Niners to win 31-21. He think they'll end up just ultimately being too much with the differential of talent. As much as I hate to say it, And I hope, bro. Oh, I hope I'm wrong. I'm going to take the 49ers also. I do think Aaron Donald will have a good game. But I do think ultimately it's just going to be I do think Matthew Stafford. For me, it just come down to Stafford. I think he will struggle in this. I pray he don't. But I just I do think he'll struggle in this game. I actually don't think this is going to be a blowout. I think this is going to be a close game. I think this will be a tooth and nail type of game. But I do think ultimately that in the fourth quarter, the 49ers will find a way to make big plays. That's probably when Kittle will start getting involved because they love to not use him to the end of the game. So I'm going to take the 49ers in a close game, even though it really hurt my heart having to pick against my Rams. His other team, the New York Giants. And boy, let me tell you about this score he just chose. The Giants will play Arizona. And he picked the Giants. He think the Giants finna go out there and put out 38 points to 17 against Arizona. And I'm here to tell him I want what he's smoking, because that ain't happening. I don't see the Giants putting up 38 points unless the Cardinals just go out there and turn the ball over 4, 5, 6, 7 times. The Giants ain't putting up 38 points. They ain't even capable. I doubt the Giants will put up 38 points the entire season on their own merit on offense. I just doubt it. And as much as I like different parts of the defense, I doubt it. I just do. I doubt it. I mean, hell, I understand how bad the offense for the Giants played against the Giants, but I mean, hell, did the defense look that much better against the Giants? Against the Cowboys? Sure, Dak didn't light their asses up, but they still scored multiple times. So, listen, I'm obviously picking the Giants to win this one on the road, but I actually think this will be a back and forth game for the simple reason. It's just for the simple reason I don't think the Giants is that great, bro. I do think the Giants will pull away at the end of this game because of turnovers, late turnovers by the Cardinals. But I don't think it's going to be no blowout. And it definitely ain't going to be no 38 piece put up in this thing. So I'm taking the Giants to win a close one at the end and to pull away in Arizona. The Jets. Now, listen, to be fair, this one really won't count for him. He picked the Jets to win this one against Dallas, but that was before Aaron Rodgers got hurt because he was relying on Aaron Rodgers to have a good game. So this pick won't count for him, and it won't count for me either. But I will still give you my pick because I'm picking Dallas. But this one ain't fair because he picked the Jets before he knew Aaron Rodgers was hurt. And if Aaron wasn't hurt, I would have picked the Jets also. So this one is a wash. But obviously, I'm taking Dallas, and I think he would take Dallas also if now. But no Aaron Rodgers, bro. It's self-explanatory. This game gonna be hell for Zach Wilson. Washington, Denver. Big Hen think this gonna be a trap game. But he just ain't got no faith in Ron Rivera. And me and him is riding on the same train, riding right beside each other, eating and drinking the same things, just enjoying each other's company. Pause. Not in that way, bro. Just talking about we eating and drinking and watching shit and just talking and laughing, enjoying each other's fellowship, bro. Because I couldn't agree more. Y'all know how I feel if you watch the show. If you don't, I got no faith in Ron Rivera. I've been saying it since his Carolina days, and I'm really gonna dig in that ass, pause, when I do my list for top players who had no shot because of the organization around him or coaching around him. I don't think Ron Rivera deserved them Coaches of the Year award that he got. I said it back then, and I'm saying it again. I think he's one of the most overhyped coaches that I have ever seen. I don't think Ron Rivera is a bad head coach, but he definitely ain't nowhere near. I always say you got to split the difference. You take away his best, you take away his worst, we somewhere in the middle. Fuck that. Throw that out. Because some of his best was not on his back. It was on the back of absolute studs, generational talent that he had, who all their careers were cut short seemingly because of injuries. So he get no credit for that. What did you do to help those men be better? I would argue not much of anything. I could argue it's other coaches that could have been put in his place that could have taken that Panther team far further. I could argue it was a coach and a GM combination that could have been put in place that would have brought in more talent, that would have fought for more talent to be around Cam Newton, who would have fought more for Cam Newton and his safety, and could have got that Panthers further. Because the fact that people look at Cam Newton as a bust or as a guy who just wasn't good enough or who only survived because of athleticism is disrespectful. It's two athletes who people seemingly religiously disrespect, and it truly breaks my heart. Dwight Howard and Cam Newton, because I got to watch every second of both of their careers, and to see both of them in their primes was to just see magic. I don't know if I done seen a big man do what Dwight Howard was out there doing in his prime. I would have loved if he could have developed a true post back to the basket post game. But that back to the basket running hook shot kept working for him. His athleticism kept working for him. His unbelievable defensive IQ and just unbelievable happiness and joy for the game worked for him. And I had never in my life seen a center be able to do what that man was doing. What Cam Newton did for that Carolina team, I don't know how many quarterbacks I've seen take such little talent on the offensive side of the ball to a Super Bowl and have them compete for a Super Bowl on a yearly basis, when it was so very clear on a year-to-year basis that this Carolina team were surviving for the most part on the talent of Cam Newton and the talent on that defense. And on a yearly basis, Cam Newton was ridiculed, talked about, criticized. They hated his outfits. They hated how he celebrated. They hated his joy for the game. It's very funny to me that two dudes that showed so much passion and joy was hated so much. I don't get it. And it might sound crazy, but it absolutely breaks my heart to see how fans and how the analysts look at Dwight Howard and Cam Newton. How they is ridiculed and talked about, bro. I don't care what nobody say. Cam Newton is a Hall of Famer to me. I look at his career and think to myself, you don't got to put him in on the first ballot. But if this man had actually had proper coaching around him, better weapons around him, a head coach that was an offensive guru that was up to date on how to run an offense in the NFL, how to get something the most out of Cam Newton, and didn't have Cam just surviving on his own. If the NFL had actually protected Cam Newton, if Cam didn't have to feel like if the Carolina Panthers were nothing without him, which they weren't, then oh my God. You know how much money the Carolina Panthers made off of Cam Newton? And I know a lot of NFL teams make a lot of money, but a lot of NFL teams ain't relying on just one player to sell all them tickets. Go look at Cam Newton's jersey sales compared to all the other stars on the team at the time. The only one who even rivaled him is Luke Kuechly. And do you really think Luke Kuechly was moving more jerseys than Cam Newton, numero uno, Ace Boogie, QB1? I don't know, bro. I don't know. But clearly, I'm not a fan of Ron Rivera. So I am also taking the Denver Broncos. I'm also not really a big fan of Sean Payton, but I do feel like the Broncos will find a way to win this game. I think that the Broncos are under-talented on the offensive side of the ball, and nobody really speak about it. Don't really like their run back. Don't really like the receiving core. But nobody really talk about it. Nonetheless, I do think they'll find a way to survive for the simple reason the way Sean Payton run his offense, Russ won't really be put in position to fuck up too much. But when you put a leash on a quarterback, I'm never going to enjoy that. So I do think they'll find a way to win this game. But I also think it'll be a close game because I still like the pieces on Washington's defense. Even though I can make an argument, Washington's defense to this point haven't even had a year where they should be. Washington got the type of talent on their defense that you would imagine they could be the number one defense one year. Yet to do it, but they got a defensive-minded head coach in Ron Rivera. But whatever. With that being said, also, Big Dog Hen did not have a score prediction for the Commanders and the Broncos. Dolphins, Patriots. That is the Monday night game. We have come down to our last game, ladies and gentlemen. If I'm correct. Let me run through these things again real fast. We did the Vikings and Eagles. We did Seattle Lions. We did Raiders Bills. We did Chargers Titans, Ravens Bengals, Bears Bucks, Chiefs Jags, Pack Falcons, Colts Texans, Niners Rams, Giants Cards, Jets Cowboys, Commanders Broncos, Saints Panthers. No, we did not do the Saints and the Panthers. We did not do the Saints and the Panthers. I'm going to tell you what's funny. I didn't even write the Saints and the Panthers down on my list. Big Hen Dog is taking the Panthers in this game to win 24-17. He think Bryce Young will have a better game, and because of the Panthers defense, he got no faith in Derek Carr, and I agree with him. I do think Bryce Young will have a better game. Plus, Bryce Young, the dudes who they signed in the offseason to help him out, which Hen make a great point, will be back and be able to provide some type of production for him. I think this is one of them cases where Carolina going to go all out next year in the offseason to get him some talent. Because I think Bryce Young going to end up having a great year. I'm telling you, this is not a bad quarterback, bro. To me, he was easily the best-looking rookie last week, even with his 2 interceptions. But I also take the Panthers to win a close one. I just think Derek Carr wasted a lot of great performances for that from his a great defensive performance from the Saints defense last week. And I imagine that's going to happen on a week-to-week basis because Derek Carr is inconsistent. I done told you that a million times. He ain't as far from Baker Mayfield as you would like to believe. I just don't like to say it because I think this dude is just a great human being. But I am also taking Carolina to win that game at home against the Saints. And that will bring us to our Browns Steelers. He got the Browns winning 28-13. 28-13. He think the Browns will look good against the Steelers. And I'm also going to take am I going to take the Browns? Yeah, I'm taking the Browns in this game too. What am I talking about? I got far more faith in Deshaun Watson in the research. And I already told you, I love Kevin Stefanski, bro. I understand that you might think he a bad head coach because the Browns is a weird organization. But if he was with a different team, Kevin Stefanski would be ranked as one of the better coaches in the NFL. You just got to watch the games to understand that Kevin Stefanski is actually not really the problem. I understand he's not an upper echelon coach, but he could be with some moves here or there. And with the Browns, I like Jim Schwartz on that defense. I don't know what was going on these last couple years, bro. I say it all the time. Just go look at some of these Browns games. Well, you can look at every one. And they just gave out ridiculous big plays at the end of every game. It made no sense. I don't imagine that that'll happen every game this year. So I am also taking the Browns in this game to beat the Steelers on the road. And that will bring us to the last game, the Monday night football game. The Dolphins take on the Sunday night football game. The Dolphins take on the New England Patriots. And Big Hen is taking New England. Not New England. He is not taking New England. He is taking the Dolphins. And he think the Dolphins going to smack New England 45-20. Now listen, at first when I saw that score, I was like, dog, Hen, you done lost your mind. The Bill ain't letting the 40 piece get dropped on his head at home. But you know what? The only reason I'm not all the way sold is because I think Bill will have an answer for Tua. But I do think that the Pats could lose this game by 2 scores. Because, if you listen to the show, if you don't, I love Tyreek. I done said it multiple times. I think Tyreek the best receiver in the league. I love Justin Jefferson, and I said he could end up being the best. And I love Devontae Adams. Tyreek, in my opinion, the last time I saw a receiver that just dropped, I am jaw dropped when I see Tyreek do some of the shit he do. The last receiver that gave me that type of feeling was Julio Jones. That was the last receiver that just I was jaw dropped and starstruck. Every time I saw him play, I was like, how? That's how I feel about Tyreek. That's why I went to bat for him so hard when people kept trying to classify him as a slot receiver. And also that just tells me you did not watch him play in Kansas City because he was not always lined up in the slot. It's just ridiculous. That big play he made in the Super Bowl, I don't even believe he was lined up in the slots. But whatever. I will bet on Tyreek every day of the week. I love Tyreek. He is my favorite receiver in football, and it is not close. This dude is so special. This is a generational talent. When you talk about generational talents, this is a generational talent. He can stand on his own merits, and he helped make another quarterback. He is one of those receivers that actually make a Pat Mahomes better. He one of them receivers that actually make a Lamar Jackson better. But the difference is he actually can make a trash can receiver better. He can make a quarterback that's Tua is above average, but he make Tua's better. He can make every tier quarterback look better than they are, even if they are a S-tier quarterback. That's the beauty of a Tyreek Hill. And with that being said, I so greatly appreciate you for joining me on another episode of Kicking It With Saint. And I know Henry appreciates y'all also. He really do. And I do. You couldn't imagine how appreciative I am, especially if you made it to this point in the video. That being said, tell somebody you fuck with them, tell somebody you love them. You could be anything in the world. Choose to be kind to somebody today and love those who love you. Love the fuck out of them. Like, subscribe, share, because I truly appreciate it, and it will help the channel immensely. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber, you out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.